So the way we're taught is this. Most people think retirement practically is an age. So when you're 65 years of age or so, 67, then you retire. But retirement isn't an age thing. It's a number thing. So the first question is this. Is it 65? Is it 66? Is it 67? What is your number? So on one side, you got people say, when I get older, I'm going to retire. But the truth about it is this. Retirement is not, never, it's not an age thing. Retirement is really is what we call a number. By the way, let me welcome every single one of you guys. Dali, oh my goodness. Dalila, it's nice to see you here. Long time, and wow, that's cool. Dami, nice to see every single one of you guys here. But if you have your pen and paper ready, let's kind of go at it. Tell me exactly where you're joining me from. I'm curious about that. I want to know where you're joining me from. Practically, I want to give a shout out and recognize you and your city. And I would like you to share this with everybody. In other words, share this live with everyone. Get everybody to be part of this. So let me kind of get right into it, okay? Let me get right into it. So we're sold a dream. And the dream is go to school, get a college degree, work your butt off for 30, 40 years, then you retire, and then you're good. That's the dream. And when you retire, you don't have to worry anymore. You're good for the rest of your life. It's not the case, okay? It's not. Damien from Nigeria, nice to see you right here. So Nigeria's in the house, okay? So wherever you're joining me from, let me know. I want to recognize, give you guys a shout out, for joining me from your respective locations. So what if I was to tell you that retirement is actually about a number? Because you see, if you have enough income to replace your paycheck at the age of 45, you're financially retired. If you have enough income, literally, just say you're 30 years old, you have enough income, literally, to last you for the rest of your life. You are eligible for retirement. Okay, now, and if you don't have enough income, you could be 75 freaking years old, but you're not retired yet. So you're basically like you are unemployed with gray hair. That's the reality about this. So today, I want to challenge everything you've been taught in school about retirement is wrong. It's wrong. Yes. So it's a trick. So I'm going to make sure that we clear this up so you're very clear and understand from today going forward, that the whole thing about retirement, the way you were taught upside down. I want to correct this the right way. So the biggest lie first, which is the first I want to talk about, is if I'm to ask you right now, how many of you believe retirement starts at age 65? I'm just curious. You could put it there. How many of you actually believe that at 65 I can retire, or at 67? I want you to think about that for a second. The government created retirement ages. Let me say that one more time. The government created retirement ages, but your bank account actually creates your own retirement. I want that to land and sink in properly. Government gave the age, but your bank account actually determines the reality of your retirement. You say, for example, let me say we have Dahlia. Let's assume that Dahlia is age 45. And let's say Dahlia makes $15,000 monthly passive income. Let's just assume that. And let's say we have Udesco, another person. Let's say Udesco is age 70 and needs to work every single day. Two different people, two different personalities, okay? Now, who is retired? The answer is obvious. Retirement isn't about the age. It's about whether your assets can actually produce the income that you need for retirement. And that's the area that most people really, truly do not understand. So Dahlia, you posted, it starts when you are in an individual circumstance dictates. That's correct. And it can be any age. That's a very correct statement. So, when you think about retirement, our brain is programmed to say retirement is when you are 67, when it's not. It's not. So if that's the case, shouldn't you be asking yourself, what do I need to do to hurry up to have my right number so I can retire? Shouldn't that be what we're solving for? That should be a priority, right? That's the reason why you need multiple streams of income So that money is coming to you, and then you could just devote one of them specifically for what? For retirement. You see, if I ask you what is your retirement number, most people don't know their number. I know I do a lot of mentorship, so I was asking one of my mentees. I said, "Listen," I said, "What is your shut up number?" So, what do you mean? I said, "What's your shut up number?" People don't know what the number is. Shut up number simply means this: if I make this amount of money, what the hell? Everybody can shut up around me. I'm out of here. People don't have that. If I ask you what is your number, retirement number, people don't have that. So when you don't have clarity about these things, it's very difficult for you, honestly speaking, to be talking about freedom. This is the reason why, like if your paycheck disappeared tomorrow, how much money will you need every month to survive? Like how much will you need? That's it. Think about that for a second. You see, examples. You got everyday needs. Like how much money will you need every month to survive housing? So, for example, if you have a mortgage, a rent, how about food, your groceries? How much money do you need for utilities, water, electricity, etc.? How much money do you need for transportation, point A to point B, the gas, the car, everything? How much money do you need for your health care? Your health insurances, be sure that you're taken care of. How much money will you need for travel? Like you want to travel the world. How much money will you need for fun? Like people don't have the answers for this. But let's say, for example, in this example, let's say you need $5,000 a month. So if you need $5,000 a month to handle all these budgetary items, then the next question is this. 5,000 multiplied by 12 is $60,000 per year. That means you need 60 grand per year. In this example I just gave you, Okay, now the question is this. Where is that income coming from when you stop working? So you're doing that right now. You're good. But the moment you stop working, where is $60,000 a year going to come from? This is the reason why retirement becomes very stressful for a lot of people. Because by the time people actually start having these hard conversations with themselves, retirement is staring at them on the face. And it's almost too late. This is the reason why you have to start here and you have to start now. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is today. You see, by the way, for those of you sharing this, I appreciate you guys. Every one of you that is inviting, sharing this live. I've not been on IG for a minute. I went to TikTok. Thousands of people on TikTok when I go live. And on IG, I pause on it because the number was low. I appreciate every one of you that's driving the algorithm, sharing this with everybody, just at their handle so that they can capture this live. Because this is some really good stuff that all of us need to be talking about. But let me continue here, okay? You say, the critical question is this. Most people don't know what their number is, so it becomes very, very stressful for them. It really does. This takes me to what I call the retirement crisis that nobody's talking about. It's a real crisis. You say, this crisis is real. Arnold, it's real, Mr. Bishop. It's real, Crystal. This is a real crisis. It's real, Zalia. This crisis, is people don't have a retirement problem. They have an income problem. Ask, for example, what happens if Social Security gets reduced, here in the U.S.? What happens if inflation continues to double? What happens if healthcare costs is out of whack? Many people are depending on one source. Most people, they depend on Social Security. And that's dangerous because there is no 401k, there is no private pension plan. It's one source of income for retirement, and that's not enough. This is why a lot of people are taking a retirement gamble. It's dangerous. So I want to be able to talk about the 3 buckets then of retirement. And this is something I want you to take to heart. Okay? If you're taking note, take note. If you're recording me, record this session. Bucket number 1 is called safety. Money that cannot afford major risk. So that money is there. It's just bucket number 1. Example, emergency reserves, guarantee income, conservative assets. The purpose is what? This is just to protect your lifestyle no matter what. The second bucket, I call that, growth. What is this bucket right here? This bucket is money designed to outpace inflation, your stocks, market linked strategies, long term investments. And the purpose of that is grow purchasing power so that as inflation increases, that money increases with inflation. Number three bucket is called legacy. At some point, you're going to expire. I'm going to expire out of this world. But what's your legacy? This is money that's intended for the loved ones. Life insurances, estate planning, beneficiary strategies. The purpose of that is to impact beyond your lifetime. This is the reason why, like a lot of people are ignoring a lot of these buckets for retirement. They really just do. And by the time they realize it's too late, I'm not going to be long on this today. I'm going to bring this to a close, okay? Because you see, most people focus on accumulation. Very few focus on distribution. Accumulation is to accumulate the money. Distribution is to distribute the money. So somebody can help you accumulate. By the way, you can accumulate $2 million right now and still be broke in retirement because it's not the accumulation factor here. It's, okay, how do I make this money last when I retire? So the people who are specialists in distribution, they will make your money last for the rest of your life. People who are very good at accumulation, they will accumulate a large base for you. Like, for example, your stockbrokers, if they invest wisely in the stock market, do all the right thing for you, you could accumulate tremendously. Distribution will go to your agents, life insurance agents using annuities. They will distribute adequately. Mistake most customers make is because somebody helped them to accumulate the money, they think that person also will have the full knowledge of distribution. There are two different types of skill set. So if you're one of those people, once you have the money there, start looking for a credible person that you can do business with that can help you. If you're here in the United States, and you follow me enough and you trust me and my content, you can reach out to me for stuff like that. I will make sure that you're in good place. You see, right now, Dalia, excellent synopsis. I'm focused on one now, then two ASAP. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. These are the kind of stuff that every one of us needs to know very, very well to get really, really good at. Here's where most people fail. Okay? They spend decades asking, how much can I save? Instead of asking, how much income can I create? Because your retirement isn't about becoming rich. Retirement is about making your money last for the rest of your life. That's a huge difference. So now, and the questions I'm asking you guys as I wrap this up is this. If your paycheck stopped tonight, how long will your lifestyle survive? Could it be 1 month? Could it be 6 months? 1 year? Forever? If it stops, what will you look like? That answer determines your retirement readiness. Because you can take a look and say, oh, snap. If money stops coming to me right now, I can only go for 6 months. That means that's all you got. You are not ready yet. If money can stay forever, then you're ready to retire. But how many people can say that? So it's not your age that determines retirement. It's not your job title. It's not your education. It's not your income. The answer is your number. That's what determines that. Your number. Your number determines exactly your retirement. So remember this very clearly. Retirement isn't an age thing. It's a number thing. Just keep that in mind. The day your assets produce enough income to replace your paycheck, that day you have true freedom, and that day you can retire. So if you'd like me to help you calculate your retirement number, or maybe you want to do a free review analysis of your retirement to see what your number is, feel free to DM me. I'm going to upload this for you guys so you can go back and rewatch this and DM me after. But it's very nice to be back on IG. Like I always say with you guys, this is Dr. Kehinde Thomas. I always say, please work like it's up to you. Pray like it's up to God. But the future is incredible. The future is great, folks. The future is absolutely great because you get to write and you get to create the future for yourself. So with that said, have a great one, everyone. Dalia, you're more than welcome. Have a great one, and God bless every one of you guys. Bye, everyone. Bye now.